The way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he is in prison. In 60 seconds, you will understand how you are being held back by the Matrix. 1. Salary is the drug they give you to forget your dream. 2. School teaches you to follow rules, not break them. But only the rule breakers are the ones who succeed. 3. They don't want a nation of thinkers. They want a nation of workers. 4. You worked for 40 years, 8 hours a day. And after 40 years, you're still broke. Think about that for a second. 5. They teach you to be a good consumer, not a good producer. But in today's world, it's more important than ever to be able to create value. 6. They give you comfort through video games, movies, and shows. Comfort is a drug. Once you get used to it, it becomes addicting. Give a weak person consistent stimulation, tasty food, and cheap entertainment, and they'll throw their ambitions right at you.
Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. Hope you guys everyone had a great weekend. It here today, gone tomorrow. It went by so fast. I remember Thursday night when I was telling you guys the weekend is finally here, and all of a sudden I wake up and it's already Monday. And like, I really hate Monday, and I'm trying to like it more and more, but I just can't. I just hate Mondays. So anyway, I did a video Saturday on Facebook, Facebook video. And it reached thousands and thousands of people. I find when I do live videos on Facebook, they reach out to a lot more people than when I StreamYard people. For some odd reason, I don't understand. But the problem with StreamYard, there's no problem with StreamYard. The problem with Facebook Lives is you can't share videos, you can't share posts, you can't share pictures. That's why I use StreamYard. It costs a lot of money to use StreamYard, but thanks to Andre Dupree's and he helps with the cost of doing the StreamYard, because for some reason they raised their prices in the last 3 months to almost double. But they give you these funky little gadgets to add on StreamYard, like the background you see there, and then of course the applause and the heartbeat and the bounce. Of course, that it just doesn't make no sense. But anyway, I do it because I love our freedom fighters. Someone's got to give the news. No, someone's got to stop with the fear mongering, obviously, and that's usually me. And of course, Roland Cerna, but for the Canadian news, it definitely is me. I don't fear monger. I'm not like other people. I tell you as it is. I read in between the BS, and I pretty much dissect what is real and what is not, and what you guys can count on. And don't worry about the noise, the white noise we call it. But anyway, Monday night, this is before we do the shoutouts, this is going out to all the Canadian patriots, our common sensors, of course, our American family, our big freedom family. All right. Our purebloods, our once upon a time purebloods, everyone in the family. So we'll do the shoutouts, and then we'll get on with all the stuff I got for you guys tonight. And Christmas, guys, is coming up. It's coming soon. It's coming fast. I love it. So the first shout-out's going out to Miss Judy Horn from Kentucky, Gilles Bourgeois, Miss May, Sylvia from the island, Cecile, Vincent, brother from a different mother from Mershabuktu, Ron from the Peg area, brother from a different mother, Mactin, Genevieve from the Rock, Nicholas Freedom, of course, from, I don't know where you could be now. I think you might be in Ottawa or Toronto, Nick, but you're somewhere. What's this? Have you seen what is going on between Aaron O'Toole and Jeremy McKenzie? Nope. Don't really pay attention to Jeremy McKenzie, to be honest with you. And Aaron O'Toole is pretty much what his name is. He's a tool. And I told everybody why Aaron O'Toole was put in to politics to kind of cover for Pierre Poilievre, who took a leave of absence for family reasons, which wasn't for family reasons. It was more like you're going to get reprogrammed by the White Hats and Donald Trump of what's happening, and you're going to have no other choice when you get back into politics of playing the part or else. I guess is the best way I can describe it. Shout out going also to Sean, brother from a different mother from Oshawa, Mac, Dan Marsh, Dale Robar from Nova Scotia, Nancy, Carrie, there's another one, Alberta Strong. How you doing, Carrie from Alberta? Brenda Pryor, Silvio Gadet in the house. How you doing, Silvio? Welcome to the podcast. Media Dag, Marcel Robbie Show, Nancy Bouchard, Miss Eagles from Ontario, Maria, who I just reinstalled her reverse osmosis machine, I guess you could say. Michelle, of course, from Ontario, Marie Bloom, welcome to the podcast. Of course, Tamara, Gloria, John Daly from Pennsylvania, brother from a different mother, Joelle from Dieppe, Miss Kathy. Hi, Jeff, and everyone from New Brunswick. Who else? Miss Charlene, of course, and her pets. I love her puppies and, of course, her horses. Miss Joan, Bert, and so on, guys. And, of course, Annette. All right, so first things first. I don't know if you guys seen this. This one's going out to the people in New Brunswick. All right, specifically for the people in New Brunswick. Now, everything is going to be all over the place today because I didn't put anything in order. Obviously, I just got back from the gym. It feels good to, it's been 3 months. I joined the gym because I took a break for about 4 years. I needed my body to, recuperate from, lifting heavy all those years. But I lost a lot of weight. I was down to like 155, sometimes 160, and it looked like, I was, puffing the crack pipe. My cheeks were all sunken in. It didn't look good. Now, I'm up to 175 within 3 months, and I feel good. And the good thing about it, it's natural. It's not the fake weight that I used to put on, of taking supplements, I guess, mail order supplements, I guess you could say. But it feels really healthy. I went to see my doctor today for blood work, because I'm every 6 months, no matter what, I'm getting blood work. And he said, Jeff, you're more healthy than a healthy person, is his exact words. And, just to make sure you never, and for the guys out there, my recommendation for you guys, just to let you know, back in the old days, they always said, guys over 50, make sure you get your prostate checked once a year. But now, in the last 10 years, specifically in the last 10 years, now they're asking people over 30. They're asking the guys over 30 to check for your prostate, not once, but twice a year. That's little information for you guys. So make sure to get that, your prostate checked twice a year. Doesn't have to be the old fingers. It could be blood work too, even though I asked my doctor many times, I think he told me one time that he didn't do the old finger test and the blood work came out good. And his patient got prostate cancer anyway. So, but there was other circumstances, and I kind of re-informed them, not that I like anything near my butt, but we have to make sure that there's no, the blood work works, because the last thing I need is to hear that I have prostate cancer, which is a good, guys, it's the number one cancer for men today, right? And the number one for women is, of course, breast cancer, which guarantee within, probably 2-3 more years, it's definitely going to be colon cancer for the women. I've already predicted that, and I guarantee, check out these statistics and you're going to see for yourself. All right, so this is for specifically for the New Brunswickers. Check this out, guys. This is alarming. So the new government's spending approach may put New Brunswick finances at risk. That's right. Despite remarkable recent progress, New Brunswick's finances, particularly with respect to government debt, remains in a precarious position. Okay. Must I tell you people that voted the Liberal government, when we had a Conservative government last year, we were at like $700 million surplus. That's like plus, surplus. All right. Until you retards, you libtards, decided that you wanted a Liberal government, which is the only Liberal premier in all of Canada, in case you guys didn't notice that. New Brunswick is the only premier in all of Canada that has a Liberal as a premier. Okay. So not only has there been warnings that she's already run up to something like $750 million in 1 year, exactly 1 year deficit, which if you started with a 700 surplus and you're in 750 deficit, for the people that know anything about math, that's a $1.4 billion spending in a year, in a damn year, from this piece of shit, Liberal, woke. I was going to say something else, but I don't want to insult the women. Let's just say woke piece of shit is what I can, can compare Susan Holt to. A big pile of crap that I literally shoveled out of the farm this Sunday. So there's been lots of warnings about the future for New Brunswick. Okay. It's not good. And I don't fearmonger. It's not good. But you know what? It's well deserved. And I hate to say that for the people that are struggling right now. It's well deserved to the people that voted Liberal. Now, I keep on telling people, please, for the love of God, if you know people to this very day that are still Liberals, Liberal voters, you need to shame and blame them. Give them a good old throat punch, but you still need to speak out. Hate them. And I don't even care that you say, well, Jeff, you're causing division. Yes. What I say has to happen, because at the end of the day, there's no more talking. You understand? There's no more talking. Talking doesn't get you anywhere. Shaming and blaming on them and putting them on the spot, even if it's a friend, family, co-worker, boss, family member, kid, son, mother, father, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's these people that are ruining it for the rest of us. You know what I mean? I look at people now. I analyze people now because I pretty much know who the Liberal voters are right now. I kind of get a good sense. I mean, I can pick out a Liberal voter very, very good just by analyzing what they wear, what they look like, what they drive. You understand? Or where they work. I'm pretty good at that. And I look at people in a different way now. Okay. I have no problem calling out a liberal voter by calling them a libtard, you know. And if you watch some of the people and my posts and stuff, if someone goes and insult me, and I look at their Facebook, and I'm like, oh my God, like, look at this, you know, tell me how many shots you've taken and how many times you voted liberal in your life, because I can tell. I don't know what it is, but I can tell. And I'm pretty sure you guys are starting to get the sense of telling too. But at the end of the day, you need to shame and blame these people and stop and hold them accountable for what's happening. Because at the end of the day, they're screwing the whole country. Not that I really care for the other parts of the country, because I mean, you guys, like in Alberta, I'm jealous for Alberta. Saskatchewan is literally putting into effect that they're separating no matter what. Alberta, of course, are going to separate. Of course, we don't know about Manitoba because they have an Indian native as a premier, which still boggles my mind, with a criminal record like you don't understand, which I don't, you know, I mean, a criminal record doesn't make you a bad person. I have a criminal record, you know, drinking and driving and stuff like that from the past. But you got to check out whatever his name is, Canoe, of Wabush Canoe, whatever the hell they call him in Alberta. He's got assault charges, fraud charges, a couple of assault charges, actually, drinking and driving. But anyway, it's disgusting. So Wab Canoe, I don't know what I called him before, but either way. And then, of course, you know, with Premier Eby on the West Coast, for the people in BC, he's just a sellout. He's just a Chinese sellout. So it doesn't even matter about him. But what's really funny about this, and what makes me laugh, guys, and I don't think a lot of you guys know this, but they are trying to literally destabilize our economy and all Canada so bad. And they're using the Indigenous people to do it. They're using them because Indigenous are not the smartest people. I mean, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. I mean, they're a French fry short of a Happy Meal. And I don't say 100%. Let's just say 95%. So they use these people because let's remember, when the whole COVID started, those were the First Nations had to be the first one in line to get those shots. And they made sure that they wanted to be the first people to get those shots. Remember that, guys? I don't think you guys remember that, but remember that? And I was like laughing. Sure enough, we're going to get back our money because they're going to be killing a lot of them. So why not? So anyway, so they use the people of the natives because, you know, it's a whole thing. You when it comes to a real Canadian, you can't. It's kind of like a taboo. You can't speak about natives. You understand? I do, because I really don't give a shit. Even though my grandparents were native, for me, I don't even care. I'll say whatever's on my mind. To me, they're freeloaders. That's how I like to. I don't really even call them Indigenous and stuff like that. They're just freeloaders, freeloaders of our land, freeloaders of our taxes, freeloaders. Period. So I'll say it as it is. But what the government's doing is they're using, especially in BC, to not build the pipeline. I mean, you got to understand, Canada's is in the top 3 or the top 5, sorry, in the world, but I think it's the top 3 for oil reserves. That's how much oil we have. We have so much minerals in Canada that we would be probably, and I'm going to say this because I've already said we have the most copper. We're on the top 5 of the most platinum, like you name it, oil, forestry, fresh water, gold. You name it. We have more minerals than Saudi Arabia, and they're like one of the in Dubai, and they're like the richest country in the world. We have a lot more to offer, and we're like in the top 10 countries in the world that's the poorest right now, with the most, I think, the top 7 for the most homeless. And I've been in some countries where there's a lot of homeless. All right, but we're in the top set. We're the 7th overall in the world with the most homeless people. So, but what gets me is they use the Indigenous people to use them by saying that we're not allowed to run a pipeline off the East Coast. But what the funny thing is check this out. You guys don't know this, but while Canada continues to maintain the pointless coastal tanker ban, the United States is shipping 2 million barrels of oil along this route over 200 times per year. So as you can see, They have a tanker ban off the coast of BC because they don't want them to do a pipeline, because in case that the tanker breaks up and oil spilled all over the sea, it's going to affect the hunting grounds of the fishing grounds of the native people. But as you can see, from Seattle to Alaska, there's oil tankers that run from Alaska to Seattle, doing 1 million barrels like on a daily basis or every second day. So let that sink into your mind when you think about, well, there's something got to be wrong. I mean, for the natives to Canada to put a tanker ban on, but just 20 kilometers, guys, 20 kilometers off the coast is United States tankers running up and down the coast. Just 20 kilometers off the coast of British Columbia. Make that make sense. All right. Here's another one to get you guys pissed off. All right. And I wrote it down. I had a mother today tell me, all right, check this out, in New Brunswick, specifically in Moncton, Dieppe, they're not having any Christmas kids spectacular at their school this year. I think that's what you call it, spectacular. In French, we call it des spectacles. So I'm thinking, the Christmas plays. There we go. The Christmas plays. There's no more Christmas plays this year at certain schools. And the question I ask you guys, all right, why do you guys think? All right, why do you guys think? And look, Gloria just said they're adding to our school curriculum that Manitoba launches new plan to address Islamophobia in schools. Wow, look at that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they want to remove Danielle from being a premier of Alberta. Hope, yeah, that's never going to happen. Apparently, Indigenous, aka liberals, are trying to remove Danielle Smith. Again, that's just, forget about it. We'll just leave it to that. So yeah, so the Christmas plays are not happening at, a mother had wrote to me that her kid said that they're not having schools. They're not having plays, Christmas plays at the schools. I was like, there's no way. I mean, that's impossible. So yeah, I mean, if you guys know out there, just to let you know, because I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow talking about this, because this is disgusting now. That's right. Muslims, they don't want to offend Muslim kids. Can you imagine that? You don't even know how much hatred I have in my eyes now, all right, for the school system. You don't even understand. The government alone is a whole different level. Like the government alone, you guys already know, the government alone needs, people need to go postal against the government alone, which is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But the school system, yeah, I mean, if I had a kid, they still have a play at my son's school. But I'm going to tell you something for the parents, and that's why I'm going to do a live tomorrow for the parents in these areas that don't know about it, or they're not thinking, they don't know, or they're not thinking. They're just assuming that there's plays. They need to ask their kids, especially grade 1 to grade 6, okay? Because they need to do something about this, all right? They need to speak up, because if they don't, all right, if they don't, this shit's going to get worse and worse and worse. Now, I could lose my shit, but I don't have a kid at these schools, so I can't say anything. But if I did, you can guarantee I'd be at that school, but well, the cops would be there, of course, and then I'd probably punch a cop, and then it'd be a whole big mess, all right? That's when you're supposed to have hundreds of people gather, and then the police can't do anything because you have 100 and somewhat people to do this shit. But you guys got to do something for the people that actually have kids or grandkids in these schools that are not hosting Christmas plays, because it's gonna offend Muslim kids. You don't even know what needs to be done. All right, let's just put it that way. I'm going to keep on doing this and pushing this until people start to wake the F up, because it was a Mexican mother that brought this up to me. A Mexican mother. Mexican that just immigrated to Canada a few years ago. It's a Mexican mother that sent that information to me today. And that totally boggled me. She said, please, I know why. When we moved to Canada, we respected, we integrated for the morals of Canadians. And then when my kids tell me that there's no Christmas play this year, and she also said there was no Christmas play last year. There was no Christmas play last year, she said, and there's no Christmas play this year. She said, please, Jeff, can you go and find out what is the reason behind this? Because she's going to lose her shit. All right. And that right there goes to show you that even the Mexican people, which are very good people, guys, you don't even understand Spanish people. All right. That she's pissed off. And she said the same thing, that it's got to be because of these Muslim bastards. All right. All right. And this is an immigrant saying this. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna do a live pretty much all week, because my lives on Facebook reach out to a lot of people, especially when I talk about immigration, and especially when I talk about New Brunswick. All right. So enough about that. I'm gonna throw this out here, okay? Because statistics. Actually, before I throw that out, let's talk about a little bit more about the immigrants. All right. Check this Ontario man, since we're on the immigrants. So an Ontario man allegedly broke into 3 homes, sexually assaulted residents in a single day. That's right. Mohamed Bazid Lafir is suspected of exposing himself to one homeowner, sexually assaulting a second homeowner, and assaulting an older female who was in bed in her home. Mohamed doesn't sound like too Canadian to me, or Ontario man, right? Let's just put that one. What was this one? Check this one out. Oh, shoot. This is going to be, yeah, this one's going to be too hard to read, so I'm going to push that aside, but hold on. Where is it? I think it's this one. Okay. So U.S. congressman said that they're saying it. They're not racist, or they're a threat to our nationality, but the congressman wants Islam out of America. All right. So a Muslim immigrant burning Holocaust survivors alive in Colorado wasn't enough. A Muslim immigrant executing a National Guardsman in Washington wasn't enough. A Muslim immigrant attacking and killing non-Muslims in Australia over the weekend wasn't enough. 9/11 wasn't enough, even though 9/11 was an inside job. October the 7th wasn't enough. Now the FBI have announced they have arrested 5 Muslim terrorists who were planning a Muslim terror attack in New York, in New Orleans, in Los Angeles and New Orleans, exactly, on New Year's Eve. This has to stop. Diversity is not our strength. Exactly. And you know what? It's going to happen. It happened a few years ago in 2018 in downtown Danforth, Toronto. I remember I was in firefighting school, and there was a Muslim man on Danforth that shot some people. Of course, they tried to bury it. There wasn't much news on it, but they did their best to try to bury it. And it's been happening, guys, since that prick Justin Trudeau has been bringing them in. And I've got some more. I've got some more messed up stuff. Check this. This is local for the people. I got to put the screen big to show you guys so I can read it. But there's 2 arrested and charged following a provincial joint enforcement team operation in Charlottetown, which is a PEI down here for the people that don't know that. As part of an ongoing drug investigation, the provincial joint enforcement team has arrested and charged a man and a woman in Charlottetown. In mid-November 2025, Canada Border Services Agency officers in Quebec intercepted and inspected a commercial parcel destined to an address in Charlottetown. A plastic container filled with brown substance was found inside the package. Testing at the border laboratory later confirmed the contents to be opium, weighing approximately 8 kilograms. Guys, that's crazy, 8 kilograms. The seizure was referred to the intelligence and enforcement. Anyway, the people arrested, of course, from Charlottetown, which are not Charlottetown people, was Sukhjit Singh has been remanded in custody, and Sandeep Kaur was released on conditions, and both will appear in provincial court on September 18. Well, let me tell you something. If by any chance I was living on the island, I'd be showing up in Charlottetown at the courthouse on this date to be throwing out my concern to these immigrants that are bringing opium into Charlottetown. 8 kilograms, guys, is a lot of drugs. You don't even understand how much drugs that is. It might not seem big, but you don't understand. 8 packages of opium is a lot of heroin. Let's just put it that way. This is on a daily basis with these immigrants. They don't stop. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, there's some Canadians that do drug dealing, but these the majority of the arrests in the last 2 years are from immigrants. The majority of every truck being stopped at the border, 90%, if not more, I've been only seeing names of those Sandeeps and those Manjeep Jeeps and whatever you call them. All right, the carpet riders. All right, check it out. And they're not reporting all of it. They're not reporting all the stops because it makes the immigration minister look very bad. Okay, but it's happening. All right. I know Ron's watching and Ron likes his videos. So I'm going to show you something that's happening right now in Switzerland. Check this out.
Imagine if you had to pay back all the food stamps and all the benefits that you got.
Putting their foot down to those living off state handouts. The country now banning citizenship to anyone who has lived on welfare in the country in the past 3 years unless they pay back the money they received.
I never even heard of no shit like that.
The move making it impossible for asylum seekers and migrants to become citizens.
Because they don't get money and benefits?
Is that the welfareism system has been a magnet, attracting people into those countries.
Good for you, Switzerland. I mean, everybody's been seeing around the world what's been happening. Everybody around the world, every country around the world is getting flooded with the same garbage, the same pollution. All right, the same cockroaches. I feel bad for these people because, I mean, they're trying to come to do a better life. Trying to. That's what they make us seem. But it's not happening. I would say a good 90% of the majority of immigrants that come into this country from those countries like Africa, Punjab, India, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, pretty much I named them all, right? Are people, especially the women, do not work. They come here for welfare benefits. Most of them, and I would say a good 75 to 80% are Muslim, and they come here and they flood our system with welfare claims. They're destabilizing our education. They're destabilizing our healthcare. They're destabilizing our education because you don't even understand our education system, especially in the New Brunswick area, especially in the Moncton and Dieppe area, from the people that I've talked to the teachers that send me personal messages privately, to the parents, to the people that work at the schools, of them being so stressed out that they don't see themselves doing any more teaching in the future. Understand? That's how stressed out they are. To the point that people are, I mean, you're having kids in your class that don't speak French, don't speak English, have ADHD or autism, and you can't communicate as they're biting and throwing stuff at you. High schools in Moncton, Moncton High, this wasn't reported on the news, of course, but a teacher messaged me. There was literally a fight, a huge brawl, where they shut down the school against the immigrant kids and the Canadian kids, which is a thumbs up for the Canadian kids. I wish I would have been in high school when this shit would have happened. It would have been funny. It would have been great. But we didn't have to worry about that back in our days. We pretty much, how we duked it out is we had the white kids against the native kids, and we would play noon hour football where we would tackle and beat the shit out of each other. But we actually shook hands at the end, went to class and laughed about it. That's how we used to do it when I used to go to school. Speaking of making things better, check this out with the Walmarts, of course, in the United States, with RFK, what he has done to change, because I don't shop, especially for food, at Walmart. Never have, never will, and I still won't. But check this out, what they did in America.
Walmart currently working on making its store brand food free of food dyes and 30 other ingredients. From Bentonville, Arkansas, the headquarters for Walmart, Fox Business's Kelly Saberi is looking at that. What'd you find out, Kelly?
Hi, Bill. Welcome to Walmart's Culinary Innovation Center. This new building is 23,000 square feet where food scientists, chefs, and people like you and me taste test these foods. Now, this is a massive undertaking as the nation's biggest grocer, and each of these products has its own unique challenges. Take candy, for example. Not only are they taking out the colors of the original product, but they're also working out both the taste and texture, which we know is equally as important. And it's one of their top-selling categories. So let's take the sour worms, for example. They have titanium dioxide in them, and now they'll take that out, which removes that pop of neon. New versions use things like spirulina and turmeric for the color, and if you can believe it, I think the new version actually tastes better than the original. So I asked, how will Walmart, such a big company present in 9 out of 10 homes, change the way Americans eat? They tell me their decisions are dictated by the consumer, not the other way around.
Customers are turning over that package, that bag, or looking digitally at those ingredients more than they ever have. More than half of the customers are actually very in tune and looking at those ingredient labels, and they wanted simplicity, they wanted transparency, and they wanted things they could pronounce and that they.
So I'll cut that video off, even though it was 2 minutes, just to show you guys that there's actually people like Democrats that literally are going against this. Are literally going against making food better again. Can you imagine how deranged these people are? I say it a lot for the people that follow me. I say it a lot that I support the depopulation agenda. I do. I just would have did it a better way, I guess you could say. You understand? Instead of trying to trick people and saying there's a virus and stuff like that. I do support the depopulation agenda, along with the elites on why and they're trying to depopulate the world, because we do have a lot of dumb people in this world. We have a lot of what Kissinger would say, useless eaters. But there's a better way to depopulate or literally stop the incline of people. But people like Democrat voters, like I watch interviews every single day with people in the United States still talking shit about Donald Trump and they'd rather have Joe Biden. I mean, those are the people they need. I mean, there's ways to scoop those people up at night and be gone. You understand? That's what I would do if I was President Trump. I mean, I would do special ops where I'd be scooping these people and then putting them in a place like a FEMA camp somewhere in a desert and retrain them like what the Chinese do, I guess you say, in North Koreans. You understand? I don't have sympathy for those people. You understand? I don't have sympathy for liberal voters either, because I look at them as traitors. And I guess Jean, one of the followers, just said there was an accident tonight in my area, Dieppe, a car coming the wrong way. I wonder what Canadian that could be. You know what I mean? A car coming the wrong way. Yeah. See, the problem with me, Jean, when I see an accident and I'm driving up to an accident, I usually stop to look to see who the drivers are. You understand? And if I see they're not Canadians, I usually beep the horn and give them the old flip the bird. Okay? I mean, that's just me. But if I would have seen that accident, you can guarantee I would be saying my 2 cents. And I won't be driving on the road at all when it snows, just to let you know. I've already said that. I'm not driving on the road. I usually wear my seatbelt now, where I never wore my seatbelt in my life. I know that sounds stupid, but I don't. Let's just say it was never a priority for me. It's my body, my choice, right? Which makes a lot of sense, right? You got to put this vaccination in you and force you. And so basically, I don't like people telling me what to do. You understand? So when they tell me I have to wear a seatbelt, it's my body, my choice. You know what I mean? So I'll just leave it to that. Walmart trying to make it sound like it was their decision to make the food healthy. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point, Keith. Trying to make themselves, we all know who's the big daddy in that one. So yeah, that was for that one. I do have an Epstein whistleblower. I don't really give a shit about the Epstein whistleblowing crap. I had a video to show that, but I really don't care about that. What was this one? This is about Canada again. So for the people that are still voting Liberal and or going to watch this video that are Liberal, just in case you didn't know, Carney added this douchebag to his caucus called Mark Wiseman. He's the one that's going to be the ambassador from Canada and US. He's probably one of the biggest pricks out there along with Carney. But anyway, this is the same guy that was the CEO, or he was on the board with what they call the Century Initiative. And what he wants to do is his ultimate goal, and he's been pushing it for the longest time, guys. His ultimate goal is to bring Canada's population to 100 million people by the end of the century. That's why they call it the Century Initiative. All right. That means in another 75 years, they want to bring in another 60 million immigrants. All right. And if you do the math, it actually works out to about, for 60 million, it works out to about 750,000 a year, every year. Can you imagine 750,000 this year, 750,000 next year, there. Can you imagine? We don't even have jobs enough for the people here now. Can you imagine another 750,000 next year or a million for that? You know what I mean? And then on and so on and so on. That is not even sustainable, for one thing. And now we got this douchebag that Mark Carney threw in there to represent United States and Canada. I love it. I love it because what that's going to do, it's going to piss off Donald Trump even more, because we all know how Donald Trump loves immigrants, right? Let's just say it as it is. So it's going to piss him off more, and then he's going to really put the hurt on Canada. And this is why when April comes around, there will be an election. I can put $1,000 down on anybody that wants to bet with me. If you don't have $1,000, let's do $100. If anybody wants to bet with me, I can promise you there will be an election in April, and the Liberals will be gone in April. Not only gone, but their party will be literally wiped off the face. Let's just say if they'll be lucky to get 30 to 40 seats after what they're going to do in the next January, February, March. All right, they're going to be wiped out. And I don't know if you guys know, but their news right now are reporting as we speak that Mark Carney's numbers are literally they're going down, and they're going down really fast. They're slipping, and they're slipping very fast. Something that was very interesting, which we all knew, I'm sure you guys seen this. The U.S. FDA intends to put its most serious warning on COVID vaccines, CNN sources say. So if CNN is saying it, then, you know, we pretty much all knew this. And I don't want to shame, you know, the vaccinated people. I don't want to shame them, but we told you so. We told you so. I had friends that went and took that stupid shot, and they didn't listen to me, and now they got cancer, and they got heart problems, and they got myocarditis, and then they had strokes. And I mean, they must have thought I was a complete moron when I first started talking about it in 2020 with the fake virus, and then in 2021 with the vaccines. And I was like, do not ever think about taking this vaccine. They went and did it anyway. Oh, my job. I'm like, when are you talking about your job? I was advertising fake vaccine passports. I was advertising fake PCR tests. You know what I mean? Literally, I was on Facebook every single day advertising vaccine passports to work for $20, hoping that the police would pick me up and try to charge me. And then I would set a precedence of bringing out Bill C-2107, where it was called the Discrimination Act of 2017. And I would have loved to go to court and have those charges on me so I can bring out the Discrimination Act of 2017 and shut that shit down. But they knew what I was talking about because I even went to court for custody for my son when my ex looked at the judge and said, and yes, Your Honor, he's selling vaccine passports too. And I looked at the judge and I said, yep, Your Honor. And if you want a vaccine passport and any guard in here that wants a vaccine passport, they're $20. And I was waiting for them to do something. And I said, by the way, in court, I said, by the way, if you think you're going to charge me on selling vaccine passports, you better look up the Bill of Discrimination Act of 2017. And that's why they never came back to arrest me or charge me for that, because everybody knew in that court that day that I had them for sale and I wasn't shying away from it. But they also knew I had that discrimination bill of 2017, hoping that someone would come and charge me, but they never did. And I mean, there's still some places to this very day that are still asking for vaccine passports, just to let you know. There's still some places out there that are still asking, AKA to be an ambulance, to work as an ambulance, because I'm taking my course in in April in Calgary, because I'll be going out to Calgary for 3 months, just to let you guys know. In Calgary, I'll be there for 3 months. They don't require a vaccine passport, but down here in New Brunswick, they actually asked for my vaccine passport. And I was like, you guys can go shove that shit up your ass. But you know what I mean? I didn't apply because I really didn't care, even though I have a fake vaccine passport. And they asked for tetanus and all these shots. And I went to my doctor. I said, by the way, doc, they want this, 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 and this. And he looked at me, he said, bring me the paper. I'll mark it down that you got all your shots, because he's against shots. That's why he's the best doctor in the world, because he knows and I know. It was pretty funny today when I was sitting in the office. This lady, you always get one. She comes in, she sits down, and she doesn't shut up. She's saying, yeah, my dad just got, they cut it open his head, and he's got half his brain sticking out, and they sewed it all up. And then she went and said, and there's only 3 of us in the office waiting, which was funny. And then she said to the secretary, I also, this guy named Jeff, apparently a pharmacist, came over their place to give her dad the flu shot, the COVID shot. Get this, the COVID shot, and another shot. There was three of them. And then she looked at the secretary. And I'm not going to say her name. She said, "Did you get your flu shot?" And she said, "Nope. And I never plan on getting my flu shot." and she just looked at me and she winked, right? Because she's like me. She listens to me. And she talks to me about what she sees and stuff like that. Like my doctor says, more people in the past 2 weeks have come to him with stage 4 cancer and aggressive cancer that he never seen in his life. But it's not that we had a good laugh, because when I walked out, I looked at her, I said, you don't have to tell me, but it seems like her dad got the COVID shot. And she went, yep. I said, that's why his brain was split open and he just got a surgery. And she said, yep. So anyway, it's great to have a good relationship with your doctor, who's a personal friend of mine, that listens to you. It's great to have someone on your side. All right. Because if it was another doctor that was trying to force that shit on me when the time was happening, it would have been funny to be the fly on the wall to actually see what I would have said to that doctor. I wouldn't have a doctor today. Let's just put it that way, of how I would have put him in this place. It would have been funny. Speaking of funny, I want to show you guys this statistic. And again, we're back. Actually, before I do that, here's a little humor. So apparently the Democrats in the United States are throwing photos out there with Donald Trump with girls, but they're erasing the girls' photos to try to make the Democrats, the Democrats, the retarded, the most retarded, insane people in the world, to make them believe that Donald Trump are with little girls. And obviously it came out that these pictures, because they erased the faces, they redact the faces so people can't see the faces, because they're trying to save their identity. But anyway, you know, it's memes are popping up everywhere with Donald Trump. And these girls were 21, 22-year-olds, Miss Universe pageant contestants. Anyway, someone sent this to me, and I kind of laughed today. So apparently a redacted photo release for Donald Trump possibly sending an unnamed minor to Epstein Island. And of course, it's the shot of him playing in Home Alone 2. So they're really making fun of those Democrats, who again are the reason why I support the depopulation agenda. It's not that I hate to say it, but I mean, I really do. I really do think that we could lose a few million people in North America, Canada, in the United States, probably a good 50 million, 50, 60 million of liberal voters and Democrat voters. It would be a perfect day. It would be a good, it would be a perfect economy. It would be a perfect living situation, to be honest with you. We would all enjoy life a little bit better, knowing that we didn't have these demons upon us. Here's a statistic for you guys. I want you guys to analyze this. All right. I want you guys, you Canadians and the Americans can join in. I want you guys to analyze this picture or this article. It's not a picture, this article. I want you guys to analyze this. And I want you to tell me, when you analyze this article, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Because I want to see how good you guys are. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this article, this Canadian article? Here we go. I even asked my girlfriend this. So $25.87 to $31.32 an hour. Statistics Canada is hiring 32,000 workers for the 2026 census. So Canada conducts a census every 5 years, with the next one happening in 2026. So what's the first thing that comes to your guys' mind? All right, when you see this, I'll give you guys 30 seconds, because usually it's, there's a lack of when I'm talking and when you guys are seeing this. So what comes to mind, all right, when you see this? Anybody? Let's see what's the first things. Okay, so Martin says 32,000 immigrants. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Foreigners, every fucking one of them, jobs. Okay, yeah. I guarantee you, out of 32,000, 31,000 are immigrants. Yep. Come on. What do you guys see here when that comes to your mind? Yes, the immigrants. Yeah, definitely immigrants comes to your mind. Jobs for immigrants. Okay, yeah. A lot more people to count. Okay. Migrant workers. See, you guys I love how you guys think. All right. Salary for immigrants. Okay. But if you guys go and think outside of the box, they will hire all immigrants. Okay. Okay. Amanda says hourly rate. Okay. So to me, when I look at this consensus, the wages ain't that high. Okay. So when I look at something like this, I think outside the box. Number one is this for me. Okay. Well, actually, this is divided in two. Now, the Liberal Party, we all know that thousands of jobs are being lost in Canada on a daily basis. Okay. So one, this props up the Liberals of saying, we got 32,000 jobs full-time that we just hired. Okay. So it tries to make people believe that they're working for the Canadian people. That's number one. Number two is it's 32,000 at 40 hours a week. So I don't know if you guys can take a calculator, but if you take 32,000 at $30 an hour, 40 hours a week. All right. If someone wants to do that, I can't do that. Well, actually, I'll do that. Let me do it for you guys, because I got you guys on my phone, but I'm seeing who's following, who's not. All right. So let's take a calculator, guys. Let's take 32,000 immigrants. Canadians. All right. We're going to times that by $30 an hour. It's $960,000 an hour. Times that by 40 hours. So check this out. Okay. Because you guys weren't thinking outside the box. It works out to be weekly $38,400,000. $38,400,000 a week. Let's times that by 4. So for these jobs, the Canadian taxpayers are going to dish out $153 million. We'll round it out to $154 million a month on taxpayers' money. Yeah, buying votes for election. Okay, yeah, that's a good way to look at it too. So you guys didn't look at it that way. You first thing that came to your mind was immigrants. Yeah, we all know that. 32,000. Yep. And that's without benefits. Thank you, Daly. Yeah, that's without benefits. That's without benefits. So, but I just want you guys to know, with benefits, we'll just say 200 million. So taxpayers are going to be on the hook to pay 200 million for, again, immigrants for a consensus. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think a lot of people know what these jobs are about, consensus. But a consensus, how long do you think a consensus job is good for? Let's just see how long a consensus job. How long does a consensus position last? Let's check that out. Consensus position lasts until the group decides to revisit or remodify. So it's a fixed time limit, right? It's a fixed time limit. So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, could be a year, right? It's a fixed time limit. So what I'm saying, that 200 million of taxpayers' money is going out monthly, all right, to literally destabilize the economy, to 32,000 consensus workers, which I know and you know, 31,000 of them is guaranteed going to be Pakistan, Punjabis, Indians, 100%. You're going to get phone calls. Hello. I can't. There's my friends can do Pakistan accents. I just can't. I can't do it. I wish I could, because I could do a whole skit on making fun of them. But you're going to get phone calls, because anytime I get a phone call or I call and it's a Pakistan, or let's just call it what it is, a Paki that answers, I hang up the phone, just to let you guys know. I don't care what anybody says, but please hang up the phone, because 90% of the times you hear a Paki on the other end, you don't know if it's a scam, period. So trust me, I watch a lot of scamming videos. Do not, when there's a Paki on the other end, please, for the love of God, save yourself a lot of trouble and hang up the phone, or say, I like to have someone from Canada that speaks Canadian. That would be the best thing for you to do. Usually they will hang up the phone on you. Most of them, if it really is a call center, a legit call center, they will transfer you, because obviously if they hang up on you, they could lose their job. But please, for the love of God, all right, do not answer if it's a Paki, because they're going to be using this now. This is Bob with that Paki accent. This is Dave. This is Daryl from Consensus Canada. Just to let you know, just to get information from you guys. Just to let you know, it's better to be safe than be sorry. Take my word on that. So anyway, I thought that would be it for tonight, guys. I love you all, but that's exactly what you guys hit. Is you all said immigrants. You're correct. But outside of the box, the government is literally killing us more and more on a daily basis. And you're going to see, like, look at the TD Bank down here in Dieppe. The TD Bank call center is, I think there was 500 jobs or something. And I can promise you 450 guaranteed are immigrants. I know, because I drive by there on a daily basis, and I go to the mall and I see the people coming in and going out. And I haven't seen a Canadian yet come out of that TD Banking call center. Not one. I can honestly tell you, I haven't seen one real Canadian come out of that call center. It's always Africans and Pakis and a few Chinese that always going in. This diversity is a strength bullshit has got to stop. And it's going to stop when you guys start doing two things. Start sharing my videos to get it out there, to drill it in these people's minds, or to speaking out. That's it. But sometimes people can't or won't or can't speak out because it might affect their job. Either way, share my videos. I'll speak it. I'll do the speaking for you, I guess you could say. All right. Anyway, I love you guys all. Thank you for joining me this Monday night. Enjoy the week. For it's going to go by fast. And then it's Christmas. And then it's New Year's. And then guess what? We have all that shitty month known as January of the depression month, which I will be on here to bring your spirits up. Let's just put it that way, guys. I won't let you guys hang in the month of January. And I know you guys won't let me hang in the month of January. So I love you guys all. Take care. We'll see you guys back Thursday. Here's a little comedy because I 2 + 2 is 5. I mean, I love this guy, High Res, and it adds a little comedy, for what's coming up. Be in that joyous mood like I am, and we'll see you guys back Thursday. And like Don Cherry says, you people hold that line. Be safe on the roads because there's no virus out there. Be safe on your surrounding when you're driving because you got those camel drivers and those Africans on the roads as we speak, get into accidents on a daily basis. And literally on the highways, you got the Packies wearing the flip-flops, smashing into vehicles and killing people. So be aware of your surroundings, guys. Love you all. We'll see you guys back Thursday.
So it's different, as you know, that with equity comes... Class, please welcome the new student, Robert.
Welcome, Robert. Well, thanks for the warm welcome, Teach. It's lit, no cap.
Take a seat. White privilege is something
Welcome.
that each and every one of you bigots and colonists have.
Wow.
Oh my God, is that Reds?
Kick the fathers out the house and the mothers back to work. Let the school system parent your children right from the birth. Make them meal, feed them pills, confuse them about what's real. Tell them facts don't really matter, it's all about how you feel. Science and math are racist, history let's erase it. Indoctrinate a whole generation, you can't escape it. It's bigger than American politics, you're an accomplice. White people racist and bigots and you're a colonist. If you want freedom, we'll encourage to do the opposite. It's toxic masculinity, if a man is too confident. Excuse me, what's a woman? Well, I am not a biologist. Common sense is really not common when you're a communist. Parents that care about their kids, let's call them terrorists. It's cool to be a feminist and an environmentalist. And if you love the country, that makes you a white supremacist. Don't even try defending it, cause what you say's irrelevant. Come on, put your hands up, everybody stand up. The whole world going mad, bruh. 2 + 2 = 5. You a racist if you don't think that adds up.
You better not be in here telling these children that men can't get pregnant.
Of course not, Mr. Smith.
And did you tell all the white children that they are racist?
And colonizers and bigots, yes.
Very good.
Go and put your hands up, everybody stand up. The whole world going mad, bruh. 2 + 2 = 5. You a homophobe if you don't think that adds up. Don't have children. If you do, then abort them. If your neighbors don't comply with the government, then report them. If you have independent thoughts, then just ignore them. Communism's the way, democracy is too boring. Bring your kids to a drag show. Give them a couple dollars to put right up in their asshole. Don't worry about the Epstein flight logs. The case is closed, so don't even go and ask, bro. Trust the WHO and CDC. None of our politicians work for the CCP. White kids are born racist. If you disagree, that makes you a damn racist. Study CRT. In today's lesson, men can get pregnant. Put your hands down, no more questions. Don't say pedophile, just say ALA. Adults that like adolescents. Go and put your hands up, everybody stand up. The whole world going mad, bruh. 2 + 2 = 5. You a racist if you don't think that adds up. Go and put your hands up, everybody stand up. The whole world going mad, bruh. 2 + 2 = 5. You a homophobe if you don't think that adds up.
We want to drive the whole world crazy. Brainwash kids from the time they're babies. We want you dependent and lazy. They never learn honestly. It amazes me.
Go and put your hands up, everybody stand up. The
What's up, y'all? Thank you for watching my brand new music video, 2 + 2 = 5. If you can, check out the description box below, click that link, and grab yourself a t-shirt. Common sense isn't common when you're a communist. I appreciate y'all.